I've talked previously about pricing, about people, marketing, and other things that are important in business. And this time I want to talk about something which a lot of entrepreneurs find difficult to get their hands and heads around, and that's branding. I think, in any group of entrepreneurs, you could probably find that most of them find more guff and waffle used to talk about branding than any other subject. But I'd like to suggest to you that it's really, really important. And if you drop the notion of branding for the moment and just focus on the idea of reputation, you have to ask yourself, to what extent is your reputation important to you in business? I was involved in something called Cool Britannia, which was how we looked at whether our country's reputation in Britain was important in terms of our wealth creation and wealth generation and trading around the world. And if you decide that it is, you then have to work out, well, how is it managed? Who's managing it? Where should it be managed? What point is it worth managing? And you very, very quickly, if you're not careful, particularly if you get consultants from different disciplines involved, you end up talking about whether it's promotional messaging, whether it's corporate identity, whether it's this, that, and the other. So let me start by saying, trying to get you to agree that your reputation is important to you. It is absolutely critically important to your business, and I think any analysis of any successful business will bear that out. Even businesses which have deliberately negative aspects to the reputation. Ryanair is my classic. I mean, they use the fact that they aren't going to go the extra mile to service you as an individual customer to re-emphasise the point that they want to be the cheapest carrier. So the way they behave is very much focused around reinforcing a reputation. But the interesting thing about reputation is it's something you cannot actually control, because your reputation actually sits in the mind of the people who's forming the judgment of you, rather than in your own mind. So if I were to say to you, of the people now watching me today, there will be a continuum. At one end there'll be people saying, it's actually quite interesting, yeah, I like that, I understand what he's saying, I know where he's going, I'm following this. And the other end, the people who are already turned off. They'll be saying, Pratt my name, Pratt my nature, what is this idiot talking about? Now, I have to say to you that that can't have anything to do with me, because you're all receiving exactly the same broadcast. So my reputation with you is at least as much to do with your interpretation of what I'm saying and doing as it is with what I am actually saying and doing. Now, if you translate that to your business, the same thing applies. So, firstly, reputation is important. Secondly, you can't really control it, but you can, if you choose to, manage it. And what I mean by that is you can decide who in particular in your business or outside your business you want to have a specific reputation with. And I'll give you an example for that. Lots of small businesses, mine included, for many years you pay late. It's the way you finance the business. So with your supply chain, you might agree 30-day terms, but actually they're forever chasing you, and it's fairly common. It's not ideal in terms of the system, but it's the way it works. I think the original maxim was sell high, buy low, collect early, and pay late. That's how we used to run businesses. Now, paying late with your supply chain gives you a reputation. You get a reputation for paying late. I've had lots of customers that have paid me late, and it's built in to their reputation. We see them as a bit tight-fisted, as getting blood out of stone, all that sort of stuff. Now, that is a behavioural decision that forms a reputation. We deliberately decide in that instance to pay late, and we live with the reputational impacts with that particular group. It would be a very different story with your staff. I don't know many businesses who would take such a cavalier attitude with payment of the wages. You don't really want your staff to think that you're quite a tight business, you're running out of cash or whatever it is, and therefore they need to expect their wages not to be paid on time. So you've got payment of different amounts to different people, but a micromanagement of your reputation with each group, and that's the way that you can manage your reputation. And the critical thing about branding and reputation is not so much the colour and shape of your logo. It's not so much your promotional messaging. It's not, I can sit here and say I'm good looking and thin until the cows come home, but the facts somewhat get in the way. It's the behaviour that people witness that determines your reputation. So my key message would be, yes, it's important. It really is important. Your reputation is important to your profitability and the longevity of your business. You don't get too hung up on trying to control it, but do decide the key points at which someone's going to form a view of you that's important to you in your business, and manage those moments, and in particular be consistent, so that whenever somebody touches your organisation, the behaviour, no matter who they talk to, the behaviour of that group that you're trying to form a view in their heads of you is consistent. So that is the key to behaviour, to managing your reputation in the important groups, is consistency. And once you start being consistent, whether it's consistently focused on low price and no additional customer service as Ryanair, as I've outlined, or whether it's full fat personal shopper experience at John Lewis, it doesn't matter as long as you stick to a consistent behaviour for that particular subset of people that you're trying to manage. So I'd say, in final wrap up there, it really is important. Don't ignore it. Don't get lost in the guffle waffle. Just focus on your reputation with the people where it's important that you've got a good reputation, and then manage it the way I've described. Good luck. Thank you.